Hello once again, everybody. We are in the middle of talking about the halacha, the minhag, I should say, of eating dairy food on Shavuos. So one question that I was thinking about after the shir yesterday is as follows. If there's a minhag to eat, if one has the minhag to eat a dairy suda on Shavuos, does that mean that he can even eat a dairy suda on Shabbos? Because the second day of Shavuos this year falls out on Shabbos. And Shabbos, we normally have a meat suda, we eat fleishiks for Friday night and Shabbos day. So does the minhag to eat a dairy suda on Shavuos supersede the minhag to eat a fleishik suda on Shabbos? So I poked around some svarim, asked some shilos, asked a few people, couldn't really get an answer. In the end, I called Rabbi First, who said that yes, if you have the minhag to eat dairy on Shavuos, then you can certainly eat dairy on Shabbos as well. So that the minhag to the inyan, I should say, of eating basar, of eating meat, is even more of an inyan on Yom Tov. So if we have the minhag, despite that, to eat dairy on Shavuos, then for sure you can eat dairy when it falls out on Shabbos as well. So Friday night you can have a dairy suda, and even Shabbos day you can have a dairy suda. However, with Shabbos day you have to keep in mind that you're supposed to eat something hot on Shabbos day. That's why we put up a cholent. If you're gonna have a dairy suda, make sure that you have something which you're maintaining on a fire, that you're going to be able to have something hot on Shabbos day if you're going to be having a dairy suda. That's number one. Number two, we mentioned that a lot of people will have cheesecake by Kiddush. That's how they'll be yaitza, the minhag of eating milchiks. They'll have some cheesecake by Kiddush. This is an important thing you have to keep in mind, is that a lot of times the cheesecake does not have a lot of mezainis in it. It will just have like a mezainis crust, and the filling is just cheese. And when you have Kiddush, you have to make sure to have Kiddush Makam Suda. So that means that when you have Kiddush, you have to either wash or eat a kzayis of mezainis. So you have to have some cake. Some people will eat cheesecake thinking that they're eating, I'm eating a piece of cake, but really there's very little mezainis in there. So if you're going to be making Kiddush and eating cheesecake, you should make sure to have also a couple of cookies or a regular piece of cake along with it. Finally, as far as ovens, so if you want to bake, use your oven to bake something milchiks in the oven. So some people, they only have a fleishig oven. So sometimes you can have a toaster oven and fit it in there, but let's say you want to make a pizza or something, you need the oven, which is normally a fleishig oven. So first of all, if you're going to be putting something in that oven that is covered, let's say like a lasagna or something, which is going to be tightly covered with silver foil, then you could put it into the fleishig oven, and you do not need to kasher the oven beforehand. It's better if you're doing that to put it on that you don't put it directly on the grate. Maybe put like a sheet of silver foil underneath the pan, and then put the pan on that sheet of silver foil, and the pan again is tightly covered with silver foil, and then you're okay. But if you're going to bake, or if you're going to bake uncovered milchiks in the oven, which is normally fleishiks, then you have to kasher the oven. Now, we don't normally approve of somebody kashering their oven back and forth, because it's going to lead to a mistake. And one time you put something fleishiks, you think it was milchiks, you put something in milchiks, you think it was fleishiks. We don't allow someone to just kasher their oven back and forth. But if, as a one-time thing for Shavuos, you're going to make a lot of milchik stuff, so once a year, somebody wants to kasher their normally fleishig oven and make it milchiks, that would be acceptable. The way of kashering it is, if you have self-clean, that's the best. If not, then make sure that the oven is clean, and then put it on a high heat, let's say 500 or 450 for an hour, and then that makes the oven pariv, and then you can use it to make your milchiks, whatever you're going to be making in there. And then, of course, remember to kasher it back. Remember to do the same thing to kasher it back after Yom Tov, or after you're done making your milchiks, before you start using it for fleishiks again. Okay, everybody have a wonderful day.